The 2020 candidates are ramping up their advertising, especially on TV, hoping they can use the airwaves to influence public opinion. Josh Lederman's in Washington, D.C. And Josh, let's start with Joe Biden. How's he positioned himself recently in those ads?
Well, Joe Biden has really been trying to focus on something that's been a core argument for his campaign, Allison, which is this notion about morality and the need to restore the soul of America. So he's been focusing in his new ads on just what detrimental effects there will be for the country on a moral basis if the president is reelected.
Pete Buttigieg is taking on President Trump more directly. What does his ad strategy look like?
Pete Buttigieg, too, has also been trying to focus ahead to the general election. This is a strategy we've seen from a lot of candidates where they try to make it for voters as if the primary is already behind us and they're already the nominee so that people will think of them in a two-way race with President Donald Trump. But the interesting thing here that Pete is doing in his new ad is it's all about Trump and the need to defeat Trump, yet you never hear Trump's name mentioned in the ad, and you never see Trump's face. Instead, it's an implicit argument about why the president needs to be removed from office, and also Pete Buttigieg returning to a theme he's hit a lot on the campaign trail, which is about the need for Americans to understand that even if Trump is defeated in the election, that the day after, it's not all going to be sunshine and roses, that there's going to be a lot of work to do to bring together a country that will have been really ripped apart by this political process and the divisions over the last few years, and Pete Buttigieg casting himself as the candidate best able to unify the country.
Josh, Buttigieg has also been criticized for some recent fundraisers with wealthy donors. His supporters include billionaire winery owners Craig and Catherine Hall and Netflix CEO Reed Hastings. What are people taking issue with here specifically, and how is Buttigieg reacting?
Yeah, this is a line of attack that has really gained steam in the last several weeks as Buttigieg has become the frontrunner in Iowa and more of a competitive candidate in New Hampshire and in other states. We've seen those attacks mounting on him, and specifically from some of the candidates who are to the left of him on these campaign finance issues, trying to cast him as the candidate of Wall Street, of the elite. Interestingly, not totally dissimilar attacks from the ones that Democrats used on Mitt Romney not that long ago. So they've been pointing out that he does have a lot of these fundraisers in really wealthy venues. He had one just today in California. But the fact of the matter is that good governance and campaign finance experts have looked at this, have said that what he's doing is not dramatically different from even some of the candidates who have been attacking him on this. So like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg is not taking money from corporate lobbyists or from major PACs like that. He does have some donors who are very wealthy people, but that's the case for a lot of the candidates. No candidate has set an income level above which if you make more than a certain money, we just flat out won't take money from you.
Josh, Amy Klobuchar is still in the race trying to gain some more momentum. What are her latest ads focusing on?
Amy Klobuchar's recent ads have been focusing on her status as a Midwesterner, someone who understands the Rust Belt in the middle of the country, also focusing on some of her specific policy moves on prescription drug coverage and other steps that she views as real accomplishments from her time in the Senate. And the fact of the matter is, Amy Klobuchar, her campaign doesn't have anywhere near the kind of money that Joe Biden does or Pete Buttigieg does, but she does have some. And for candidates who are still in this race with less than 50 days to go until Iowa now, this is the time to start spending that money and really trying to do whatever you can to crank your name ID as high up as possible and try to get any last voters to come to your side.
Josh, the candidates have different strategies now, but as we get closer to the election, do you expect everyone to sort of jump on that anti-Trump bandwagon and go full force against the Republicans?
Yeah, a lot of the candidates really want to make it seem like in their minds of voters, they can imagine them on that general election debate stage with Donald Trump. And so given everything that's happening here in Washington with the impeachment saga and what we know is Democratic primary voters' intense frustration with the president, a lot of these candidates are trying to get in on the game of casting themselves as the person who's best able to defeat the current president.
Josh Lederman in D.C., thanks so much.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.